As someone who talks about groups sometimes, I think the question is how you're doing it and what you mean by it. Like because there are 8 billion people in the world. You're going to have to be able to categorize them in some way. So
Sure.
even statements like men are stronger than women is obviously a group-based statement. That statement is generally not heard as all men are stronger than all women. It's a statement about a general statistical truth. And so when do you want to cut off the ability to make claims like that? And so to me, I think it is okay to make group-based statements that are true the vast majority of time or true in general, or to be able to talk about averages, if you're reading these group-based statements as on average, rather than all. When we talk about groups, do you mean on average or all? And this is unclear when we talk about groups. But if you're going to talk about groups, you need to make sure that you're saying, I'm saying this as an average thing, as something that's true in general, not something that's always true. And that's where group-based thinking gets dangerous, is when you say it's always true. So I'll give you, I'm Jewish. There's a lot of talk about, I'm half Jewish anyway. There's a lot of talking about Jewish responsibility for various things. I have no problem acknowledging that Jews are more progressive on average, right, than other groups of people. And so therefore, if an area is more disproportionately Jewish on average, it's likely to be more progressive. If you're going to say, well, therefore, just because Jews are more progressive on average, no Jews can be in my conservative coalition, or no Jews can, that's where, and so it's fine to make the statement, Jews are more progressive, if you're saying on average. If you're using that to say, and therefore I can't work with Jews, that's the problem. And so that's how do you mean your group statements is very important.
And there's the what are you going to do about it question.
Yeah.
Right? So
Absolutely.
if you're just making a factual observation about something that might be true on average, men are stronger than women, for example. Okay, men are stronger than women, therefore to make women safe, we need to lock all men in cages. Well, that's kind of a problem, right? And so what you're going to do about it matters a lot too.
It's important when you make claims about groups that people know you're talking about averages. It's like an annoying thing to have to add on to it. On average, when I say that they're taller than the other group, on average, but because as soon as you say they are taller than them, you're assuming it assumes all.
It's an IQ test. And I can't remember who brought this up. It might have been Michael Malice or whatever.
Fortune Post.
If I have to, if you respond to my statement, when I say men are stronger than women, if you respond with not all, I immediately know I'm talking to a moron.
Yep.
There's actually a really funny bell curve meme. You know the bell curve meme where there's a really dumb guy, the average guy, and then the smart guy? The meme was something like the dumb guy and the smart guy both talk in as simple terms as possible, and the midwit and the average guy try to sound as intelligent as possible.
So
it's
the midwit's well, not all, you mean on average is the midwit, but the dumb guy's yeah, they are all taller, stronger than the others.
Not all, but
yeah, they are stronger
the
than
dumb
the
guy
others.
goes, men are stronger than women. And the smart guy goes, this is correct, men are stronger than women.
And the smart guy's
midwit
picturing...
goes, actually, on average, is around a 20% increase. It's nobody needs that context.
Well, the idiots need it.
No, they don't.
They think when they hear men are stronger than women, they think all men are stronger than all women.
You see, you're pulling a midwit on me.
No, that's what the idiot thinks. That's why the midwit says it, is so just for the idiots listening.
No.
Yeah, he's trying to translate.
That's not the point I'm making.
I think it is.
No. The point is...
Let me tell you what you're thinking, Tim.
Lower
let me explain this
IQ
to you.
people can speak in simple terms to get the gist of it. It's communicating through memes. The smart people know you don't need to elaborate what is common sense. The midwits try to over-explain because they think they're smarter than everybody.
Well, I think they think they're smarter than the idiots. And maybe they think they're smarter than the smart
they think
people,
they're
too.
smarter than
Because
everybody.
if Jeremy says men are stronger than women, and then some idiot, low IQ, is yeah, and pictures all men now stronger than all women, then the midwit comes in and is well, actually, he's not being very specific. It's on average. The smart guy already knew what he was saying.
Ian's proving my point.
The dumb guy misinterpreted what the smart guy was saying.
Ian, I think you've literally just proved my point.
So I think it's actually kind of a...
Well, not all midwits. I just want to point out that not all midwits make a mistake.
That's a good hashtag, not all midwits.
I would rather go towards the trend that groups, when we talk about groups, that on average is the default context. I think it's easier because otherwise it's really hard to use group-based labels. And so I actually think we've gotten too defensive. We've gotten so concerned about racism. We've gotten so concerned about bigotry that we're now afraid to make statements that are true because we're so worried about these claims being meant as all and going in these places we do have dark aspects of human history. So I'm not saying there's no reason to be concerned, but if we're stopping our ability to talk about truths, if we can't talk about group differences, and then we go, well, gosh, there sure does seem to be some racism in police violence, or there sure does seem to be some racism in who's getting certain jobs, or there seems to be sexism in who becomes a Fortune 500 CEO, and we can't explain why because we've tabooed all discussion of group differences. Like, this is a real problem. So there have been negative outcomes with good intentions. We've maybe tabooed some group-based discussion, but it's had some really negative outcomes because we can't explain important truths about the world.